Today, we are going to be talking about the value of deception when playing a game like poker. We open it up with a suited ace and get called by the button and the big blind, who are both extremely aggressive opponents. There are three of us that head to a connected queen-high board with two hearts, so we flop the nut flush draw and it's time to bet every single time, right? Well, not this time. On a flop like queen 10-8, there are going to be a ton of pair plus straight draw type hands that want to see the turn, and a lot of strong made hands like two pair and a straight that either of my opponents are easily capable of having. So I decide to incorporate my first area of deception and decide to get tricky and check my nut flush draw in a spot that I know most people are going to be betting every single time. And we get immediately rewarded for our deceptive play when a heart rolls off on the turn, giving us the best possible hand, the ace high flush, and our aggressive opponent in the big blind now leads into us for $350, and this leads to our second point of deception in the hand. We take a moment to look back at our cards, making it look like we are checking for a heart with a hand like ace king or ace jack with the ace of hearts. Now, with the best possible hand, I think we could spring the trap, but I decide to continue to trap my opponent and just call, making it look like we're drawing to an ace high or king high flush, which will leave the door open for our aggressive opponent to blast off if in fact he is bluffing. We're hoping for a clean river, and that's exactly what we get, and music to my ears as my opponent is not done putting money into this pot, wagering $850, which we all know has a one-way ticket into my direction. Now it's time to extract max value. We mentioned earlier that most people are going to be betting all of their flush draws on the flop, which makes my hand look a lot weaker than it is. We did a heart check on the turn to make it look like we had a hand like the lone ace of hearts, and after checking our hand, we just called. And now it's time to represent either a strong flush or the nut flush blocker, so I come out with a chunky raise to $3,000, 1.5 times the size of the pot, putting my opponent into a miserable spot. On one hand, he's got a weak top pair, but I'm never raising to this size with a hand like kings or aces. So essentially, I'm going to have a flush, whereas queen is going to be the winner, and with the check on the flop and the heart check on the turn, the story in his mind must not seem extremely credible. So I don't blame him one bit for getting curious and making the call, and with that, we scoop in a $7,200 pot with the nut flush, thanks to the art of deception.